Dictionary.com defines an unplanned approach as impromptu, done without preparation, unwitting, done without awareness, spontaneous, done without thought. Wait a minute. That means you guys don't have a plan?
No.
Well, that's dumb. You might as well start the show.
Get out of here. Punk, come down here and start playing around. Yeah, right.
Hey, Dad, can I be on the podcast? Yeah, we'll let you do the intro.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Well, hey, randoms. Welcome back to Unplanned Approach. And today we've got Corey Carter with us, a podcaster, fellow podcaster, and comedian, and according to your bio, about 100 other things.
Yeah, pretty crap.
Yeah.
Hey,
and then on this end, you got two a-holes that sell insurance.
So he's already one-upped us
right.
moving forward. But so Corey, the first thing, I know we talked about this a little bit off air, but man, you've done a lot of different things in this realm, in this world, and we haven't. Like, I'll be honest with you, we were dicking around here before we jumped on, and we have never hooked it up to a computer. We've never hooked up to a computer. No. We've never done anything. We've never done any of the YouTube or anything. So I was like, dude, we've got a YouTube page. Hell, if we've got it running through the road thing, let's dick around. And we're like, holy cow, we can go live. And it's like kids in a candy store. Like, oh my God, look what we can do. We can change the world.
We're fired up about shit 8-year-olds can do.
Yeah. But it's neat talking to people.
Hey, it's new to you guys, man.
Right,
That's
no doubt.
So how did you is this something that like you always wanted to do? How did you even branch into this?
All right. So, real long story short, I graduated film school, Full Sail, with a bachelor's degree in film in 2009. And at the time I had met, who's now my ex-wife, we got married and I was in the video industry, like very much. I worked in reality TV for like 4 years, independent films, wedding videos, sport videos, things like that.
Cool.
But the thing about my relationship was it was like super toxic and she was super crazy. And I was not allowed to have my own social media.
What?
I didn't like there were years.
Well, I mean, look
like,
at you. I would keep you off social media as well.
Yeah. Hey, we don't have to our wives
don't give a shit. Yeah, do what you do.
Nah, but it's like I was completely out of touch with society from 2010 2020. Like I call it, that's when I was off planet, bro. Like I was disconnected. I didn't know what was going on in pop culture, certainly not with social media. So I got away from her, and I had known some local independent artists, so I got into music videos. And of course, artists are like very, social media is a huge part of being an independent artist.
Sure. And
I, started making I made my first Instagram in like, God, it was 2023, the end of 2023. And I was posting music videos and like video editing tricks and things like that. And I got to the point where I realized that like artists don't have money to pay for music videos. It's just,
right.
If I'm going to make a real living, no artist wants to pay you $1,000 to shoot a music video because it doesn't get them anything. It doesn't give them $1,000 worth of product.
They're just going to pay you in backstage passes,
right,
and drugs,
right, for the shows that have 15 drugs. People out there,
right,
like, groups,
right. Here's some cocaine.
I'm special.
Another reason
have you met
get out
Susie?
Of a relationship.
But in that time, I was working with this guy making music videos for him. He had a podcast where he interviewed artists, and he wanted me to cover an episode. Mm-hmm. Now, in my time with like other film jobs, I had interviewed people. I had interviewed people for different projects and everything, and I always really enjoyed the interview process.
Right.
So this guy had me cover it, and man, it lit a fire in me. Like it relit a fire. I forgot how much I liked it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this guy has a podcast, and I'm be honest, he was terrible with it. Like the entire time he was interviewing people, he's literally sitting there writing notes.
I watched one a couple days ago that was doing that. That guy was balls deep in his laptop. I was like, what are you doing? Look at the person you're talking to. Right.
Dude, we're recording this. We could go back and take your notes, man. It's killing me.
Like he said, it was so he could remember to bring something back up. And I was like, bro, you're in a conversation. Just talk.
Right.
You know what? I do have a question for you because we're 3 months into this.
Yeah, we're not 3 yet.
And our concept is different than yours. Like I said before, yours is awesome. I think it's a great idea. But we've been looking for stuff like ours, like amateurs, kind of to see what people are doing. And I'll be honest, man, there's a lot of junk out there. I mean, there is some bad where I just can't even. I'm like, man, does anybody have the balls to tell these guys or this guy? It's awful. Stop.
You know, it's funny because I saw someone post in that podcaster group that we're in that someone left a comment saying, man, they're letting anybody start a podcast these days. And like, first of all, I guarantee you everybody in that group has gotten that comment at some point.
Sure.
We've gotten that comment several times. But it's the same thing as music right now. For the first time in history, equipment to do podcasting and things like that is affordable, it's obtainable, and it's user-friendly. And so that means there's going to be, just like there's an onslaught of awful independent music out there. Just more music than you can find is terrible than you know. So it's gonna be the same thing with podcasting for a while, but you know, we all got to get out there. We all got to do our best and see what works.
Well, sure. I think the funny thing is we talked on the phone. We talked to you on the phone last week, and you know, you said the comedy thing, right? You want to get into the comedy thing, and I've one of my bucket list things is to do an open mic. Well,
he doesn't have any jokes, though.
Yeah, my joke is my face.
Everyone look for 25 minutes.
There's the flashlight.
You just lead with that, and you got the crowd. You're good.
Right. My wife would be the only one there. Isn't he cute? No, she doesn't like me either. So, but it actually, for anybody looking to get into that, this is an easy way that I found that, you know, I've always had material and stuff, but I didn't want to get in front of people, which is funny because I don't mind, you know, being, you know, the spotlight guy, but getting on stage has always been kind of like, I don't know about that. But what I've noticed is running this stuff through, like when Kyle and I are talking, it gives you a platform and an opportunity to get comfortable talking and doing whatever your set or whatever jokes you think would work.
Yep.
I mean, everybody bombs their first time, right? So might as well bomb on a not stage factor. But that's what I've thought the neatest thing about this is once you get comfortable, and like some of our guests, when they come on, you could tell the first 5 minutes, they're a little bit, you know, kind of, but once you get going and you get into it, it's 2 hours later and they're like, man, that was awesome. Yep. And trying to convince people to come on is the hardest part. It's like, guys, it's not, we're not going to expose you.
Right.
You know, we're not going to cancel you. Have you run into some of that stuff too? I mean, you're more experienced than we are.
So once I had started the interview podcast, after that guy I had covered that one episode, I started an interview podcast. It was called Character Asked It. And I interviewed over 600 people in less than a year, or just over a year.
Jeez.
And I'll tell you, the advantage that I had, though, was, first of all, I had started with the music video thing. So I had joined a ton of group chats for independent artists.
Right.
And my benefit was, like, independent artists, they're trying to get their name out there.
Right.
So it wasn't hard to get people to come on. After I had done, I don't know, 150, 200, I started charging. I started with 25, then 50 per episode, and 50 wasn't really hitting it. So I went back to 25. It was the funny thing that I found, though, is like with independent artists, the better conversation that it would be, like the more I wanted them, the less they wanted to do it. I would have these 18-year-olds hit me up, I'll pay you $50 to do the interview, blah, blah. And I'd get on the interview with them. And like, my whole concept was, I'm going to ask you about like your childhood, your time in high school, what you did after high school. And we're going to start, I want to hear the whole story from beginning to end.
Sure.
I do that with an 18-year-old and I'm 7 minutes in and I'm like, well, we've covered your entire life.
And you're not very
I don't know where else to go from here. You know, like you paid me $50 and we're 8 minutes in and I got nothing left for you.
Right.
Pick up your axe, bro. You might as well start singing.
Right. Hey, now. Is your mom single?
Exactly.
Nothing exciting happened in your life in 18 years. Well, I can't talk about that stuff. Then we're done here.
Right.
We're done here. That's fantastic.
So how'd you come up with the idea for the current podcast? Because when you were telling us about it, we definitely were intrigued. We talked about it for a while after we talked to you. Just it was a cool concept of making sure everybody gets a voice, and yeah.
I appreciate that. And basically what it came down to was, after my 600 something interview, I looked at the progress I had made, and I I wasn't happy with it. You know, like I have like 15,000 followers on Instagram, which is that's like the proudest thing that I accomplished from it. But it wasn't growing. Like I got to 15 and I stayed at 15 for like 6 months and I couldn't break through. And I realized it's because like no one knows me. You know, I'm nobody. I'm not famous to anybody.
Right.
So when I come up on their feed and they see this random person interviewing a random artist and they don't know either one of us, they have no reason to care about us.
Right.
So when I started thinking about like where to go from there, I wanted to cover trending topics, but that's a real broad scale and like how to lay out the formula.
Sure.
I remembered that like I've never really been into sports, but my brother, he's a sports reporter. He's very much into sports, and he used to watch Pardon the Interruption on ESPN all the time. And that's their concept. They have a list of topics that they're going to talk about each episode on the side. Each topic has a timer, and each host gets a period of time to talk about that topic.
Right.
Okay.
So why not just take that concept and put it on trending topics? It's not the exact, you know, I didn't copy their exact formula, but that's where it came from. Now I had my guy Blaze, who I've been working with. He has his own network, TV network that our stuff is on and everything. So I knew he was going to be a part of it. And then I put out a call to find the other two hosts. Didn't really get much response, but then I went back through the 600 people that I interviewed and was like, who will work for this?
Okay. Right.
And I hit them up and here we are.
That's exactly what I thought when I watched it, was that ESPN stuff. And the one right after it, it's Pardon the Interruption, and then the one right after it with I'm drawing a blank, where they have the 4 columnists on it and everybody does that. They've got the buzzer and all that. I mean, it's outstanding because you've done something that, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that want to do sports and want to do, you know, current topics. And like we were just talking, he asked me about Shedeur Sanders, right? All that controversy at the NFL draft. Yeah, I've got an opinion. Everybody's got, it's the hot topic. And then what will be tomorrow? What will be the next day? I mean, and we thought about that too. And we do sometimes. We talk a little bit about that stuff. But your format to do that is a success. I loved it. I mean, usually it's kind of like, you know, like you said, who are these 4 guys talking about this? Well, if everybody has a different, you know, approach, I just thought it was great, man. I thought it was fantastic. I thought, this guy, and you, man, it's really planned well. Where, like we said before we jumped on,
Hars isn't so much.
I looked at Kyle and I said, man, he's pretty organized with all this. We absolutely look like a couple of bozos.
Well, it absolutely shows that you've done 700 interviews and we've done 8.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. Like, and I would have never been able to come up with the odd concept of the show before the other podcast, you know?
Sure.
And I will say the organization part, man, it's not easy. It's, you know, we do 6 topics every week, and that means that I have to find 6 polarizing topics, and it can't be like a trending topic that everyone agrees on. You know, we're not going to talk about Diddy because Diddy was wrong. No one's going to be like, oh no, Diddy.
He's okay.
No,
he's okay
Diddy's
in my book.
Bad rap.
Not according
to
Shedeur Sanders and those guys that want to be rappers.
Yeah, it's the man trying to keep him down.
It's like our show's every Friday. So my entire Thursday is pretty much doom scrolling on every platform that I have. I'll have some saved videos that are potential. My lady will send me videos, but it's really like that is the most difficult part of the show, is finding the topics and actually choosing what's gonna, because I got to just predict what's going to be a good conversation with the 4.
Sure.
Right.
You know, you never really know. I mean, I've had topics where I thought this is gonna be a terrible topic, and ends up being a great conversation that goes viral. I've had topics where like this is it, this is the one,
right.
And minute and a half into the topic, it's like, well,
that's it. Yeah,
we're all out.
Yeah, I've been there. I mean, we've done that too, where the good thing about what Kyle and I do is we could, like, you sent us, and that's actually a great transition into, you know, one of the stories you sent us about your ex and stuff. And if you're okay talking about it, it sounds like a pretty funny deal. Is there some humor there? You're okay talking about it?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
That's kind of what we do. We get people we tell people, hey, have 3 or 4 stories. And usually, I'll be honest, once people open up and they start telling us, there's funny in everything, right? And
oh, absolutely.
so that's what we do. So somebody gives us 3 stories, and we get in one, and we look up and it's 2 hours in. It's like, oh my God, we went from here to here to here. To,
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like schizophrenia, man. You're all over the place trying to figure it out. But your podcast is one that I will, like when I'm in the car, I'll listen to that, and that's what I'm looking for is stuff that, because I travel a lot. I'm like, man, I'm looking for stuff like that. And like I said before, I was looking for something like we do, and man, there's just not. I mean, anybody
He
says
said we.
Come, you always do that, dude. You're a douchebag. Man.
That's because I'm 8.
But anyway, getting back. So, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Maryland.
You're from Maryland, and you ended up in Florida for college. Which University of Florida? Which Florida?
Full Sail University.
Okay. So you met your ex-wife.
Oh, okay. Full Sail University. I thought you were just saying Full Sail, and it was some kind of a thing, like a thing. And I thought, well, okay, I don't know what that is, but
Full Sail, guys. Let's have a good talk.
right.
They're the Full Sail realtors. The fighting realtors.
Right.
That's funny. I didn't even.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna make fun of where the guy got his.
Well, I wasn't going to make fun. I just didn't know that. I don't know the school.
He said I'm a dick.
You are a dick.
You're a fucking whatever. Anyway, so you meet your ex-wife the first day you moved in.
Yeah. Literally, she lived in the apartment below. I move in, I get there, she and like, you know, I was me at the time, so I go meet the neighbors and I see there's girls. There's 3 girls living below me in the apartment below me. That's dynamite. And you know, like we started getting to talk, and I find out they smoked. And at the time, I didn't know a lot of girls that smoked, and I was like, "Oh my God, you smoke weed? Let's go hang out," you know. And
right.
And we, you know, one thing basically, she had a 1-year-old at the time. One thing led to another. We were good friends for a while, and she would come up and drink coffee every morning and everything. And then we ended up together, and you know, it was like. There were definitely red flags that I ignored in the first 2 years. But you know, I was young. I was 19 years old. You know, I didn't know any better. And you know, she had fibromyalgia, and then it started getting worse. And then she needed these painkillers, and then those weren't working, so she needed other painkillers, and blah 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 blah. It got real bad. The pills, doctor shopping, buying off the street, all that, like just constant. Every single day we wake up and it's how we get her more pills today. It's just and that was pretty much for a solid 10 years of my life. That was my life. Now in that time, she had some psychological disorders come to light that she would not admit to. Like, she wouldn't go to a doctor and get treatment and tell him actually what's going on. She would just lie. She's literally hearing voices. She's telling me she's hearing voices. I'm going to the doctor with her, and the doctor asks, "Are you hearing voices?" And she says, "Nope," and grabs my leg. Like, shut the fuck up. Oh my God. And then so it manifested for her in thinking that I was cheating. And when I say cheating, I mean cheating all the time. I would come home, I would be at work 12 hours, working at a restaurant, right? Double shift outside, Florida heat. I come home, bro, and she would have 1,000 documents printed out, spread across our entire living room floor, our kitchen floor, into the bedroom, showing this is the hotel you went to with this girl. This is that. This is like. Oh my God. This was like the introduction of when it got bad. This was about 5 years into it really getting bad, about 10 years into the relationship. And then her mom comes up and says, "I'll pay for you guys to get married if you want to get married." I can't say no. So we get married.
I can't say no.
It goes, I mean, because she's paying for it. Like I proposed to the girl. We were engaged for 7 years before we got married.
I am so with you. You're talking about the papers. Mine was I would come in and it'd be like, "Hi, honey, I'm cooking for you." And it'd be like, "Hey, that's great. You sound like you just got done cheating." And then throw the food at me, hit me with the frying pan. So I've been where you've been.
You sound like you've been cheating. I want to know how to sound like that.
That tone of voice sounds like you were banging someone else. I'm like, I've been at work.
Man, it got to the point like we'd go visit family in Maryland, and we'd be on a drive, stop at a McDonald's in North Carolina, park next to a pregnant woman. The rest of that drive, the rest of that trip, that was my baby. I met her so that I could see my baby mama. She's pregnant. It was one of those times I snuck up to North Carolina real quick, got a little thing in and came back. You know, it's just like you can't make this shit up, bro.
You
like,
turn right into the McDonald's, and I bet you took a ride with that bitch. Like, what are you talking about?
Yep. I mean, it was like we'd be sitting on the couch and watching TV, and she would grab the remote and pause and say, shh. Yeah, okay. And I'm like, what just happened? She would be like, I heard your bitch. Your bitch is outside. She's outside right now. I heard her talking shit. She's just trying to piss me off. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
She's giving you a lot of credit, man. You're a good looking dude, but damn, man, you got chicks banging down your door during Netflix and chill.
Right.
She was suspicious of every black SUV that we would pass on the road. Like, I swear to God, she thought I had the government helping me cheat. Like I was a secret government agent. She gave me way more credit than I ever deserved. I'm not capable.
I'm not smart enough to get the government.
Oh my God, man! I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Well, I didn't know it was that in depth, and I didn't know you would.
Oh, dude, I got stories. Yeah. Here, man. So now the question that you have to ask now is, and this is something I've asked myself: was she crazy, like previously, or did you help drive her there?
Well, all my cheating, you know, like it'll drive anybody.
That's what I mean, right? Well, because ours would get out of hand, and it so came out of the blue, but then it tanked everything, which I'm sure you're aware. It just tanks everything, and everything you do
every
is
important
like
event.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're
trying to bang her. That's my mom's best friend. Doesn't matter.
That's my mom.
Right. Hey, my mom's a handsome woman, damn it.
Why are you hugging that bitch? Because she gave birth to me? God, I've never had anybody.
Really?
You guys are lucky. You got to experience something.
Well, I mean, look at this. Yeah. Look at that. You know what I mean? Who can lay off of us?
This attracts crazy, okay?
That's right.
So Kyle, ask him the question you asked everybody. Do you attract crazy or do you drive him crazy?
Right, yeah, because we had a buddy on that had that. Do you attract them? Do you chase them or do you create them?
Well, I'll tell you, I have a new girlfriend. We've been together for about 4 years, and I will have to let you know. I've been there long enough to know if I'm a driver crazy or not.
You know? What's the 5-year mark?
She's not crazy, so I didn't attract crazy this
so
time.
And
it remains to be seen if I drive her crazy.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations on moving on to somebody that doesn't follow you around with a noose. Like,
this one's awesome.
Kitchen knife, right?
Just in case.
Hit the computer with a baseball bat because
why do you have
I was talking to women on it.
Yeah. Why do you have a kitchen knife in the bathroom? I don't know. You just never know when you're going to need a kitchen knife. Okay, I'm leaving.
The guy that we were talking about actually was sitting at his kitchen table with a machete.
Yeah, if you get
he was afraid he was going to die.
If you get a chance, your story is reminiscent of a guy that I grew up with that we had on. It's the Stink episodes. It's his nickname. And it goes from here to holy shit, man, what? And he kept repeating the cycle that you were in with different women. And I'm like, okay, at what point, how many times do you have to get arrested for something stupid by your girlfriend or one of the three? I mean, he was moving all around the country following women. He'd meet one, he's like, oh, she's moving to Alabama. I'm going to move to Alabama. And then 3 months later, she's crazy. And I'm like, you've done this 3 times, bro. This is no longer a them
this
problem.
Is your fault, bro. I no longer feel bad for you.
Crazy.
You did this to
Absolutely.
yourself.
I mean, if you listen to it, the funniest part is he's supposed to come over here and do the podcast, and we call him, and he's in a low tone, like he's hiding, and we're like, hey, we know what's going on. Are you ready to go? And he says, well, the cops are outside. And I'm like, sweet, we're coming. This will be a great episode. And he's like, I wouldn't come over here. And so he calls us back like a half an hour later, and he's like, yeah, let's reschedule it. I'm just sitting here on my couch with a machete next to me in case she comes back. And I thought, okay, that's crazy. So we do the episode, and at the end of the episode, we're like, so what's the status? He goes, well, we're still together. And I thought, oh my God, dude. What are you writing, a novel? What an idiot.
Yeah, he was so a little more detailed because he was sitting with the machete, and her car was parked out front of the house, but no one knows where she was. So she's hidden in the
That
bushes.
happens with those.
Right.
Yeah.
She's hiding in the bushes or
That's the
something,
thing.
right? Just
That's a real
cussing
thing.
him
Like,
really
there was-
quietly.
Dude, she would disappear so much and just crazy shit would happen so much that the town that we're in now, if I call the non-emergency police line, they literally pick up, say, "Hey, Corey."
Oh no!
Yeah, like it was that common. Like,
Hey, buddy.
That's just the way we were.
How's
you
it
know?
doing? How's it going?
Corey,
You
Steve.
need to swing
What's
by.
going on now? What you do?
Hey, if you're out and about, could you come by the house? I think she might be out in the bushes with a knife.
Right, yeah. Just keep an eye out,
Right,
crazy woman
yeah,
running
just-
around, some kind of weapon in her hand. Just,
Right.
Oh my God. So what were so looking back, what were the red flags that you look back at? Because we've all been in relationships that were, I have not been in anything quite that dramatic, but I mean, you do look back and you're like, how did I not notice that? I mean, there's like 4 things that you're like, that should have told me on day one. Bad idea.
Yeah. The first red flag that I missed was, I had just moved to college. It's the first time living away from my parents' house. You know what kind of life you want to live when you first live alone. And,
Right.
and I'm making friends and I have like a group of like 5 close friends that I'm going to school with. And every chance she got, she tried to find something wrong with these friends, down to like one of them, my buddy Brian, she steadily tried to convince me that he was trying to sleep with me. And Brian was very straight.
Trying to sleep with you or her?
He was not gay.
With you?
But she was like, he wants to spend so much time with you. He definitely wants you. He wants you.
Well,
I'm like, dude, bro.
in fairness, I mean, if Alabama weren't so far away, I might have to hop in the car.
Oh God! Dude, we don't share the same view. This guy, but you've never hit on me. I'm right here.
The show's not over.
That is crazy. She tried to convince you one of your buddies had a secret man crush on you.
Yes, straight up. So like, that was definitely a red flag. Like that's what they say. Toxic
They
people.
try to
They don't
isolate.
want
They
other
isolate,
influences
right.
around you.
Yeah,
and-
'cause I had
right.
that too.
So and then like I grew up in a household where of course my parents fought, but like they would go in the bedroom and
Right.
you would hear some discussion, but it wouldn't be like screaming at the top of your lungs.
Right.
About, I don't know, 4 or 5 months into it, I don't even remember what it was about. I came home, she was mad about something, and just fucking blah, 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 blah. And like I just turned around and went outside because I was like, I don't know this behavior. I'm not
Right.
familiar. I don't know how to respond in these situations. And I came back and a little bit later and we talked, and it was like, again, this was the first time that she really screamed. But in hindsight, like what I tell people now is if you're just dating and you're already having to overcome huge issues, just get the hell out.
Right.
If it's not easy for at least the first 6 months, 1 year, and you're constantly struggling, it's not worth fighting to save the relationship. No, find a relationship that's worth fighting for.
Well, especially if you're 19 and you're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to get married till I'm whatever, unless you get
Right.
swept completely off your feet. You're
Unless
right. I
she's-
mean, it's.
Got really good looking friends.
Unless she's got really
Then you
good
just
looking
hang in,
friends and you,
you know,
hang
you're just
around
like-
and you start picking off her friends one at a
And
time.
then you like, oh man, I'm really depressed because this isn't going well. And they're like, oh, how can I help you? Maybe a back rub.
A back rub with no. There's the baby oil.
Got to work the long game.
Right. Long game.
Got to have vision.
No, now, what would her reaction been? We start with crazy, but if all of a sudden you guys break up or whatever and you start dating one of her friends, dude, you're a dead man. Dead. We're looking at a dead
That's
man.
great.
Yeah.
He knows.
No.
Yeah, I knew too. Yeah.
Oh my God. So how, and I'll ask if you don't want to talk, so she had a 1-year-old, you adopt the child. Now that just made it super probably convoluted then as well, right? I mean, how?
Well, okay. I never actually officially adopted
Okay.
my daughter. I'll get to where we're at now, but
Oh, gotcha.
she could never let me adopt her legally because she knew that means I could leave with her.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Huh.
So I mean, just a couple years, less than a couple years in, I knew that like I was locked in for my daughter. I was
Sure.
If I were to leave, I know exactly where she would have ended up going, either homeless shelter or back to her ex, who lived in a grow house trailer with holes in the floor.
Gotcha.
And I could never let my daughter, go live that life. Like I would never be able to sleep a night in my life after if I had left Lil back then. She was about to turn 14. Lily was about to turn 14, and my ex got a hold of Adderall again, and Adderall was always the thing that sent her into psychosis. Like it was a very common thing for her to go into a deep, full psychosis. She got 72-hour holds in Florida like 15 times. It happened here. But she got this Adderall this time, and I told her, I was like, look, every single time that you take this drug, you go into psychosis, and then I have to put you in a no, it won't happen. Okay. So she takes it. Next day, I see that look, that 1,000-mile stare looking past you look, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And she's like yelling at the walls. Like my daughter is coming out in the living room, and she's staring at the wall, face to face with the wall, screaming at it because she's yelling at the bitches that I have outside. I told her, like, I looked her in the eye. Yes, she was in psychosis, but I was like, look, if you don't go seek help yourself, I'm going to get you put away in a psych ward, and you're not coming home. And this was like 4 days before my daughter's birthday. I looked my daughter in the eye and I told her, I promise this is over. We're getting away from her.
Right.
The day before my daughter's birthday that year, I had a court date lined up that I actually had to take her. I had to take my ex in psychosis to a lawyer's office.
Oh my God.
To file for an emergency, hearing for her to be put in a psych ward. I come in with her and he was like, wait, is this about her? I was like, yeah. He was like, she can't be here while we do this paperwork. I was like, so I told her, I was like, I need you to go wait outside. She was like, no. I was like, all right, let's leave. We're walking. She walks out the door. I close it. I lock the door. I go into the lawyer's office. I do the paperwork, and I come back out about 10 minutes later and put her in the car and go home. So a few days later, the day before my daughter's birthday, I got her put into a psych ward for 60 days. And in that hearing, she spent her entire argument saying that my mom is the reason why she's being put there today. My mom, who lives in Maryland, and we are currently in Alabama, my mom is the reason for that. Then the judge is literally looking at me like, what is she talking? I'm like,
this is what I deal with every day, Your Honor. This is every day.
Yeah. And yeah. I also, she told me while she was in psychosis that she had slept with a family friend of ours. So I called that guy. I called him when she was in the hospital. I was like, hey man, did you fuck my wife? He goes, we're in Alabama. He goes, yep, I did that. I was like, well, she's your problem now, bro.
Go get him.
I don't know how to thank you.
Yeah, here's a grenade. Go jump on that, please.
Yeah, no, I'm grateful. I'm not even mad at you because, I mean, when she got out the hospital, she went to stay with him.
Yeah.
So you
perfect.
Venmo? I'd like to Venmo you.
Right. You're going to need this.
And here's the pills.
Now, so we talked a little bit the other day. I really expected when you said who was out to get her, I thought you were going to say Ganon from Zelda.
Say what?
No. Oh, wait. No.
He's trying to make a Zelda reference.
No. I was trying to make a Zelda, but.
I thought you were a nerd like this.
I am a nerd. No, I'm right about that. We talked to. I
don't know anything about
Zelda. And yeah, here's an awkward pause because Corbin got his things a little jacked up there.
Okay, so
all right, back on track.
What were you trying to say?
I thought he would get the reference. He is not a Zelda player, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't get it.
See, right.
Oh, you cross strings. You thought of somebody else.
Right.
See, Kyle cheats a lot, too. This is what I deal with.
I'm a cheater. I'm a cheater. Hi, my name's Kyle.
Psychosis because he doesn't have enough Giant Mountain Dew in his system.
My name's Kyle.
I'm
a cheater.
That's what my 14 and 12-year-old would have called a brick.
Right.
Well, man, kudos to you for sticking around and taking care of it. I mean, that is, I've got a buddy whose brother-in-law married a girl, adopted her young daughter. I'm talking like 3, 4, 5. and ran into the same issues you had. And now he's, I hate to say it, now he's stuck. It's like he don't want to give up on the kid, but the mom has lost her mind. You got to look at the calendar and be like, man, but he actually adopted her. So he had to deal with, he had to make sure. And every time I talk to my buddy, I mean, this has been years and years ago. So the kid's 18 and, he's remarried and it all worked itself out. But kudos to the guys that stick around especially when you don't technically have to, I mean, damn, man, God love you. And I'm glad you got good. Congratulations. Right. That is, woof. I mean, there's some funny there that we can, tinker at the funny, but overall,
right, at the end of it, right.
There's a badge of courage for it too, man. I mean, I hope your new lady understands what she's got with you. If she doesn't, get her on. I'll tell her.
Drive to Indiana and we'll have a
Corey's a good guy. If you ever need anybody at the court hearing, some character witness, Corey, we are there. Man.
We're there.
And now that we figured out the video part of this, we can do it via video too.
Now, there you go.
One thing I do have to ask.
Hold on. I have another crazy story of something that happened post leaving her, right?
Oh, God.
She showed up at your house and she was vacuuming the front yard.
I just can't get this dirt out.
It's dirty. Look at it.
That's not far from what in the realm of possibility.
Right.
Man.
No. Like I said,
I would not be surprised.
I'm speaking from experience.
Oh my God.
So,
well, she didn't sweep the front yard.
When I got away from her was 4 years before I thought I ever stood a chance, because my daughter was 14 or 15, and I thought she was gonna have to be 18 or 19 when she was an adult for me to actually be able to do anything. So I spent like that time in that gray area where I don't actually have legal rights to her. I wasn't supposed to be taking her to school, wasn't supposed to be taking her to the doctor, but if I didn't try to change anything, we could just float like that, and we did for 4 years. But in those 4 years, my ex, before we got divorced, she got pregnant.
And what years?
Gave birth to a child in a meth house in a bathtub.
Oh my God.
The kid was born with Down syndrome and no anus.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And I got a call the next week saying that I had a brand new kid.
Oh my!
Because I'm still married to her.
Oh, right.
So I was the legal father of this child.
God. Oh my God.
What's the worst part is, like, I found out that she was pregnant and I knew what she was doing. I called DHR and was like, look, there's a woman who's pregnant who I know is abusing drugs right now. I can tell you where she is, what she's doing. Their response is, we can't do anything until the kid is born.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I had to fight. I had to go to court 4 or 5 times to get my name removed as the legal father. The biological dad was put back in prison for violating probation from a sexual assault to his little sister when he was a kid.
Oh my God! Jeez, oh Friday.
Yeah, can't make this shit up, bro.
No
can't make it up.
I mean, this is like plots out of a movie. You have got to listen to the episodes, man. If you get some free time, don't do it on a Thursday because I know you're busy, but. You come out almost smelling like a rose compared to the guy we were talking to.
Right.
I mean, at least you didn't keep pursuing crazy, man.
Right. It was just one. It was one mistake,
just a one. Right.
You
tend to learn your lesson when you get. No, I'm with you, man. I feel like I did too, because it was like, okay, that's enough of that.
Oh my God.
Right. If you ever feel that level of disrespect, man, you're out. Like that's never gonna happen again.
Oh my God. So how old is it? So your
daughter
now, how old is she now?
She's 19.
Awesome, man. Great. How's she doing? Good? Doing well? Things going well?
Yeah, she's doing great. She works at Chick-fil-A and she's going to be going to school for esthetician.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, very nice.
Beauty. Yeah. It's probably what my oldest will end up doing. No, dude, and you know what? Kudos. That's probably a lot of you, man. You are...
A positive
I hate
influence.
to sound like I'm hitting on you. I don't want your ex to think that I'm hitting on you. Or anything,
He's lying.
But I do love heroes, man. I love a hero story, and I love.
So it's going to be like a buddy road trip, is what you're telling me.
Sounds like we're going to have you come up and speak at a commencement up here. Hey, we've got
does this smell like chloroform?
He's actually actually use that at the bar. What are you wearing? It's called chloroform. Thunk. I got another one.
Speaking of chloroform, my ex was in high school with Casey Anthony.
What?
No kidding.
Man,
They're comparing notes in study hall. What are you going to do? Well, I don't like kids.
I want to be famous. I know how
Right.
to do that. Oh, my God.
I need to come up with a way to really get my name out there. I've got some ideas.
Yep.
Oh, my God. I don't get speechless very often. That is, you know what my buddy said on the podcast we did is he said, you know what I really wish? There's only one word that would have helped me if I'd have just done background check. He's like, if I just would have done a background check.
Right.
And he goes, and I won't not do it now. Everybody I date. Oh, my God.
That's it for today's episode. But before you go, ask yourself this. What's your unplanned story? Because here on Unplanned Approach, we don't script the chaos. We celebrate it. Real people, real moments, real life plot twists that no one saw coming. Whether it was a chance encounter, a missed train, or a wild pivot that changed everything. We want to hear it. Got a story that deserves the mic? Hit us up. Submit yours at unplannedapproach.com or find us on socials at Unplanned Approach. Until next time, stay spontaneous, stay real, and never underestimate going in without a plan. This is Unplanned Approach, where the detour is the destination.